The Ward Davises are nicely settled in their new house. Eva has the unique privilege of being able to sit in her living room and lift her eyes unto the hills. There is Uncle Charlie, who, when he returns from his work at the Arcadia Church, finds relaxation in his garden. If you get on the good side of him, he might give you a basket of luscious raspberries. Sarah Jane Reed, now living in a unit apartment, is discovering the possibilities of her kitchenette.
We who now live in close proximity one with the other in our later years need to learn afresh how to get along in present company. We have come to the Grove as strangers to one another in many instances. Every one of us has been someone, somewhere else. Here we have to become one without the some. How do we adjust to this latest situation in which we find ourselves? It depends on whether, with the years, we mellow rather than mildew. Do we smile oftener than we scowl? Have we become affable rather than arrogant?
Since 1925, these tidbits of news, these snapshots of daily living, have been shared by the people who have come to Monte Vista Grove Homes. And it can all be traced back to a statement made at the 1923 Synod meeting in Glendale, urging church leaders that
all necessary steps be taken to secure property suitable for a retirement home for poorly housed retired ministers, their spouses, and their widows.
Speaking that day was James Marwick, Scottish immigrant, prominent accountant, and a giant of a man. Marwick became the impassioned champion of these neglected servants of the church. He embarked on a year-long mission to visit many of these people, and what he found shocked him. The average annual sum received by the 700 retired ministers in California was $400. For women, even less. He reported these unacceptable conditions to the members of the Committee on Ministerial Relief and Sustenance, which included such names as Spaulding, Freeman, and Young. And when they next stood before the Synod, it was a call to action.
Offer them any better evidence to show how we Christians love one another than a happy band of old pensioners? As it is, we are making a splendid exhibit of a man's inhumanity to man. I do not believe in setting class against class, but if you men will not act, I would call upon the women who have done such a splendid work, both in the home and foreign fields, to arise in their might and insist on a better order of things.
Weeks later, Marwick reported that a 15.5-acre site in Pasadena, much of it an orange grove, would be suitable. That parcel at the corner of San Pasqual Street and Monte Vista Avenue is where James Marwick's vision took shape.
The more we develop the bungalow idea, the more possible it will be for more of our old people to occupy their bungalows, just as private citizens. We do not propose to interfere with them as busybodies.
Using a plot plan developed by the well-known architect Myron Hunt of Rose Bowl fame, the first bungalows were built in 1925 on the southwest corner of the property, near what is today the A-Gate. With walls 18 inches thick, the bungalows were built as duplexes and triplexes to maximize their footprint. It can be assumed that orange trees occupied much of the space in those early years because the 1927 financial report includes the following item: $99 from the sale of oranges.
When dinner was called at 1 o'clock, each found his place. Then Robert Freeman, chairman of the board with a chef's white cap and apron on, triumphantly entered,
carrying the turkey and leading us in singing, "Praise God from whom all blessings flow."
After our bountiful meal was over, Dr. Freeman, with his delightful Scotch brogue, along with others, entertained us.
At the conclusion of the program, we gathered up our table service and, happy and contented, wended our way home, feeling closer to one another.
Our big 400-year-old oak, our pride and joy, has been fortified against the stormy winds. A broken sustaining cable has been replaced and 3 new cables added. The tree doctor reports the patient is in excellent health.
On March 29th, Dr. Milo Fisk proudly reported that he had trapped and buried his 100th gopher in his current campaign to keep Monte Vista Grove free from these garden lawn pests.
Bowing to the demand, the orange trees gave way to more and more bungalows as men and women from every corner of the world became residents. 1926 marked the construction of the Rest Cottage, built through the benevolence of Ms. Milton Stewart. When first proposed, this precursor to the health center was described as an invalid bungalow. Other buildings rose in tribute to the people who gave so much to Monte Vista Grove during their lives. Bungalow 22 stands as a memorial to Dr. Robert Freeman and Dr. James Leishman, who served as pastors of the Presbyterian Church of Pasadena for many years. The 1954 dedication of the administration building came about through the generosity of 2 of the Grove's most generous friends, Mr. and Mrs. Cecil Gamble. And in 1958, the first structure was built as a result of the building donor plan. Under the provision of this plan, applicants who are willing and able to pay the full cost of constructing their residences move to the head of the waiting list. The building donor plan transformed the Grove, with no less than 10 bungalows constructed over the next 6 years.
The Grove waiting list burgeons. Applications for 40 couples and 25 singles are on hand. Lucky us, we are in. Northern Californians are clamoring for a retirement home up there.
The big day comes on October 11th, and all the world now knows that Monte Vista Grove Homes is 40 years old. What would we give to be so young again? A letter of best wishes and greetings from J. Edgar Hoover was greatly appreciated. Mr. Hoover is a good man to have on our side.
On a sun-filled October afternoon in 1968, a crowd of hundreds came out for the dedication of the new 40-bed medical center. What had begun as a cottage described as temporary quarters for 6 bachelors was now a 40-bed facility providing skilled nursing care.
Some like it hot, some like it cold. The Almighty in His divine wisdom set some of our body thermostats high and some low.
In the same room, some teeth chatter while others are oppressed by heat. Take Thursday evenings in our assembly hall. Some on the point of suffocation open a window a wee mite.
Others, fearing pneumonia, signal frantically to close it.
In the decades that followed, the familiar rhythms of life took hold here on San Pasqual Street. Marwick Place was built. The hearth opened, the swimming pool installed. There was new construction and new remodeling. Improvements all in keeping with Clifford Drury's words in 1974. The vision of the founding pioneers who first dreamed of such a facility as Monte Vista Grove more than 50 years ago has been most wonderfully realized as a life of dignity and peace of mind for our champions of Christ.